Good morning, students. Welcome to the biology class. In our last session, we discussed spermatogenesis. Today, we are going to discuss oogenesis. What is oogenesis? The formation of female gamete. Where it takes place, that is in the ovaries. When it initiates in the embryonic stage and completes in the puberty, means the begins in the embryonic stage and then they complete the formation of the ova in the puberty or at the puberty. So oogenesis again divided into the three phases as that of your spermatogenesis, that is your multiplication phase, your growth phase, and the last is your maturation phase. But before we have a systematic presentation of oogenesis, we should know what changes takes place during our fetal stage and then during the adult stage. So during the fetal stage, oogonia, that is your mass of the cell, that is called as the female germ cells, they undergo the meiotic division to form the mass of the oogonium cells. And instead of the one oogonia, we are having a number of the mass of the cell. So that is mass of the cells are being formed, and with the mass of the cells we are having the group of the cells. By the complete formation of the oogonia in the ovary we are having, and all are having the diploid number of the chromosomes. And now this ovary, and out of the mass of the cell, one cell is going to be increase in the size, increase in the volume, and that cell is known as the primary oocyte with the diploid number of the chromosome. Now this primary oocyte is surrounded by the layer of the cells, that is follicles or the granulosa cell, and this stage is known as your primary follicle. And at this stage the birth of the baby takes place, and the baby is being born with the ovary that is in the primary follicle stage, having the primary oocyte surrounded by the cells layer. But while during the birth, the meiosis 1 has started, but suspended in the prophase 1, means it is not being completed but started. So it is suspended till the puberty, and during that phase from the birth till the puberty, the degenerations of the primary follicles takes place. No increase and decrease of the cells are there, only the follicles they are going to be degenerate, and we are left out with 60 to the 80,000 of the follicle. But as the puberty reached, so during the puberty, primary follicle cell surrounded by the another layer of the cell known as the thecal cell. Now the primary oocyte with the thecal cell known as your secondary follicle stage. Now the thecal cell, they form the outer and the inner cell, or you can say the layer, and this stage is known as the tertiary follicle stage. Now at this stage the meiosis 1 completes, means primary oocyte is being divided into the secondary oocyte and the first polar body with the half number of the chromosomes. Now the tertiary follicle with the secondary oocyte, and they are being surrounded by one more membrane that is known as the zona pellucidea. The stage is known as mature or graphene follicle. And now the secondary oocyte undergoes the meiosis 2 to form the ovum and second polar body. So they have a good amount of the nutrient in the secondary oocyte and in the ovum, whereas these tiny polar bodies, they degenerate. So this is how the development of the ovary takes place from the embryonic stage till the formation of an ova. So we can see in the systematic representation of the oogenesis, that is divided into three phases: maturation phase, then growth phase is there, and the first is your multiplication phase. During the fetal stage, the oogonia undergoes the equational division to form the mass of the oogonia cells, and out of oogonia cells the primary oocyte is being formed, that is a growth phase. And the primary oocyte at this stage undergoes the meiosis 1 but suspended growth, and the birth takes place. And during the puberty or during the adult stage, that complete its meiosis 1 to form the secondary oocyte and the polar body. Secondary oocyte is of a large size and the polar body is very tiny structure. The nutrient, the cytoplasm that is being present in the secondary oocyte, the stage is known as your tertiary follicle. Now that undergoes your meiosis 2 to form the ovum and the secondary polar bodies, and this ovum will undergo for the fertilization and to form the zygote. But some in that is the secondary oocyte, they starts the second meiotic division, again that gets suspended, and with that secondary oocyte they will go to the fallopian tube and they will form the ovum only when the sperm will enter the secondary oocyte and then it will convert into the ovum. ये याद रखना है कि सेकेंडरी oocyte स्टेज पे ही आपकी ओव्यूलेशन होगी. जो फेलोपियन ट्यूब में हम जिसे एग समझते हैं वो क्या है, सेकेंडरी oocyte. वो इमीडिएटली ओवा तभी बनेगा जब स्पर्म से हिट होगा, अदरवाइज सेकेंडरी oocyte स्टेज पे ही वो डीजनरेट कर जाएगा. दैट इज़ नोन एज योर menstrual phase in the female when no fertilization takes place. Is it clear? So very careful about this. Please go through your NCERT book and try to draw the systematic representation of oogenesis with the number of chromosome. That is very important. So in our next session we will discuss about the menstrual cycle. Till then, goodbye. Thank you.